Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video I'd like to speak with you about Trucking Business 2022. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always guys, big thank you for all the likes you provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about Trucking Business 2022. More importantly, what's been going on in the industry over the past 8 weeks. You know, those of you guys who watched our video from last week, I'll leave a little card here in the corner so you can take a look at that. But you might remember some of these charts. Now, I'll leave these charts somewhere here, on the screen so you can kind of follow along. But basically what we're seeing is a further decline in the markets. Now, I reviewed a lot of data. I looked at a lot of the commentary that's out there from some of the top people in industry. They all have their opinions. There's a lot of data that's coming out for, at CAS data for March, and tonnage, from other organizations. The ATA has weighed in on this. And, we have our own data as well. And, in many ways, from what I'm seeing, I think I'd have to disagree with much of what's being said online at this time. You see, what I'm seeing right now is that all the numbers are being compared to really far back, right? They're going back 3 years. They're going to 2019. They're going to as far back as 2018. But comparing it to previous years doesn't really work, because you're getting major drops, and they're really trying to not panic the readers, the folks that are actually interpreting this data. But what I did is I added yet another week of data onto our sheets, and what we're seeing, and you can follow along on the screen. Last week we didn't have that last bar on the right, and we saw a decline. Now we have a very strong trend line showing a decrease in rates, right, and in the gross. And what's interesting is that the angle is much steeper now than it was last week. So we have an increase. We can also see that in the next screen with the percentage difference, where you can actually see that we've added an additional 3.86. So it actually increased. The drop over from week to week has been larger than the previous week. Not a good sign. Furthermore, percentage change, you can see that we've gone from 3.29 to an additional 3.94. which basically tells me that once again we're eating up more losses. So this does not look very good. Now, what I did is I took some notes here I'd like to read to you. This is from the DAT or DATs. They have run an interesting blog there, and then it was an interesting article. And what they wrote was that the reality for most is that we're seeing an overheated market correction where demand appears to be reverting to more seasonal levels. Okay, stick with me here. This is very much the case in the refrigerated produce sector, where March monthly truckload volumes are on par with the same month in previous non-pandemic years. Okay, sounds good. After jumping 37% year to year in 2020 as the pandemic took hold, produce volumes soared as more consumers ordered more fresh fruit and vegetables online and cooked more meals at home. All right, sounds good. Fast forward to March 2022 and we see volumes down 22% year to year as consumers head back to the office and out to a restaurant. Okay, I'll take it. There's definitely a lot more freedom now than there was, say, a year ago. Monthly produce volumes are still around 14% higher than in non-pandemic years. So even though they appear to be dropping rapidly compared to the highs of the last 2 years, they are in fact closer to what they typically expect for this time of the year. Now, the question is, if we're running more typically to what we would expect under normal market conditions, are your operating costs are also the same way that you would have found them had you been in business 3 or 4 years ago, or even 2 or 3 years ago, right? Now, interesting. In the dry van sector, demand as measured by the Michigan State University for-hire trucking ton-mile index, wow. January and February were solid months, with ton miles at the end of 2021 up close to 4.5% above 2018 levels and 6.5% above February 2019, which is a 3-year comparison. The recent report from CAS Information Systems for March has truckload shipments up by just 0.6% year over year, following 2.7% month to month or month over month increase. But CAS generally deals with more of the contract freight markets, not spot market. Now, flatbed rates are increasing as we head into peak construction season, and we're at the starting line of the 2022 produce season. Even though spot rates have dropped from unusually high levels, we expect rates to bottom out shortly at levels just above break even for most small carriers. What is that? What is just above break even? Because a few years ago, it was considerably under $2. Now I'm talking to folks who are telling me their operating costs are $2.50 and higher. If rates go down to pre-pandemic levels at $2 or less as an average, how are people going to stay in business? Well, the answer is they won't. They will be going out of business swiftly. And it's finally, they finish off with, given record high fuel costs and inflation, it's far from ideal, but the sky isn't falling either. Well, it depends who you ask. You talk to the guys with a $2.50 market average, the sky is falling. You talk to the guys that paid off trucks, from 1991 or something like that. They're running equipment that's been paid off. Everything's well taken care of, and they've been able to make a good amount of money over the past 2 years in this hyperinflated market. Yeah, the sky isn't falling for them. So, guys, I would strongly recommend that each and every one of you, no matter how long you've been in business, run through your numbers, figure out your fixed and variable operating costs, break them down into per mile rates to have an understanding of where your break-even point is with and without your own salary. Because these numbers that I have here, they speak something very different from what the media is presenting. Now, we shall see who's right, but based on what we're seeing, the rates are going to continue to decline for a yet longer period of time. Now, guys, I'm going to switch over to camera. As always, guys, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Love to hear from you. If you haven't hit the like button, please smash that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I'm going to switch over to camera. We're going to look over the loads that we book for our customers. The money is still there. We're still helping folks make a lot of money, although the rates are certainly on a decline. I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of these loads. The rates are still good. Just make sure to keep track of your operating costs, especially if you're a newly minted MC. Maybe you started your company over the last 30 to 90 days, or even if you've started it over the past year. Newly minted MCs generally have considerably higher operating costs. You want to make sure they're not creeping up to your weekly or monthly revenue to make sure you're still profitable or at least are able to break even. Now, we're going to start off with a reefer coming out of Oxnard, California, going to Lacey, Washington. Now, this is a 42,000 pound load of bananas running at 57 degrees on a reefer, 1,090 miles, booked at $4,600. Got them $422 a mile. Then one pick 4 dropper coming out of Mount Angel, Oregon, going to Bismarck, North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, Grand Forks, North Dakota, and a final drop in Hibbing, Minnesota. Now, this is a 40,000 pound load of nursery running 45 degrees on a reefer, 1,800 miles, booked at $6,200, got them $344 a mile. Now, what's great here is these guys, in fact, this is a solo reefer, but they ran from Friday to Thursday, 6 days on the road, still managed to gross $10,800 in gross, ran 2,890 loaded miles at an average of $374 per mile. Very well done. Next, dry van coming out of West Memphis, Arkansas, going to Billings, Montana. It's a 41,000 pound load of lube oil. It's a non-hazardous load. 1,465 miles, booked at $5,400, got them $369 a mile. And then a 2-pick 1 dropper coming out of Three Forks, Montana, going to Cheswick, Pennsylvania. It's a 43,000 pound load of non-hazardous chemicals, 1,879 miles, booked at $5,000. Got them $266 a mile, and they ran for a week from Monday to Monday, grossed $10,400 in their regular dry van, ran 3,344 loaded miles at an average of $311 per loaded mile average. Next, we have a reefer coming out of Lawrence, Massachusetts, going to Elkton, Maryland. This is a fairly short run, very light load at 11,000 pounds of frozen foods, running -10 on a reefer, 364 miles, booked at $1,300, got him $357 a mile. Then Jonestown, Pennsylvania to Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, 14,000 pound load of Black Forest fruit snacks, very short run, light load obviously, 244 miles, booked at $1,000, got him $410 per mile. Then they did a very interesting one, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania to Freedom, Pennsylvania, 24,000 pound load of frozen foods, only 8 miles on this, booked it at $500, got him a quick and easy $62.50 per mile. Then Louisville, Ohio, going to Forest Park, Georgia. It's a 22,000 pound load of cheese, 714 miles, booked at $2,500, got him $350 on the dot. Then they finished off with West Point, Mississippi, going to Burlington, New Jersey. It's a 34,000 pound load of Pizza Hut ingredients, running -10 degrees on a reefer, 1,033 miles, booked at $3,700, got them $358 a mile. So you can see a very different approach, short miles, didn't burn a lot of fuel. Now they ran from Tuesday to Monday, so only 6 days on the road. Ended up grossing $9,000 in their reefer, did not run a lot of miles at only 2,363 loaded miles, and did all that at an average of 381 per loaded mile average. So these short runs definitely pay well. Next, we got ourselves a vented van coming out of Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, with a 1-pig 2-dropper going to Marceline, Missouri, and Lenexa, Kansas. It's a 39,600 pound load of rolled paper, 633 miles, booked at $1,750, got them $276 a mile. Then out of Edgerton, Kansas, took a 1-pig 3-dropper to Boise, Idaho, Ontario, Oregon, and a final in Portland, Oregon. It's a 25,000 pound load of automotive freight, 1,827 miles, booked at $5,700, got them $312 a mile. And right out of Portland, zero deadhead, going to Boise, Idaho. It's a 32,700 pound load of FAK freight of all kinds, 430 miles, booked at $1,550, got them $360 per mile. These guys ran Friday to Friday, ended up grossing $9,000 in their vented van, ran 2,890 loaded miles at an average of $311 per mile. Now, all of these drivers are all solo. I say these guys, but they're all solo drivers. So well done here, $9 grand, over $3 a mile, did very, very well. Next, we got a reefer coming out of Edgerton, Kansas, going to Aztec, New Mexico. Now, this is a 44,000 pound load of food and beverages. This is a reefer, but this load was dry. 855 miles, booked at $3,100, got them $363 a mile. Then out of Center, Colorado, took a load to Brockport, New York. It's a 43,000 pound load of beets, running 35 degrees on a reefer, 1,765 miles, booked at $5,800, got them $329 a mile on a ton of miles. They ran from Monday to Monday, grossed $8,900 for the week, ran 2,620 loaded miles at an average of $340 per loaded mile average. So well done there as well. Next, we got ourselves a regular drive-in out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, going to Abilene, Texas. It's a 41,000 pound load of freight of all kinds, 671 miles, booked at $1,800, got them $268 a mile. Then Brownwood, Texas to Belton, Missouri. It's a 44,000 pound load of pet food, 662 miles, booked at $2,200, got them $332 a mile. Then Edgerton, Kansas, going to Livonia, Michigan. This is a very light load, 7,000 pounds of fire pits, 782 miles, booked at $2,050, got them $262 a mile. And it finished off with Elaria, Ohio, going to Lake City, Florida. This is a 40,000 pound load of dry goods, 968 miles, booked at $3,300, got them $341 per mile. Now, these guys ran Thursday to Thursday, grossed $9,350, ran 3,083 loaded miles at an average of $303 per loaded mile average. And we're finally going to finish off with our last one, which is a regular drive-in out of Sacramento, California, doing multiple drops, Flagstaff, Arizona, Farmington, New Mexico, and 2 drops in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's a 40,000 pound load of fireplaces, 1,216 miles, booked at $4,300, got them $354 a mile. Then right out of Albuquerque, New Mexico to Denver, Colorado, it's a 43,000 pound load of plastic containers, 421 miles, booked at $1,000, got them $238 a mile. out of Aurora, Colorado, going to Sheridan, Wyoming. It's a 43,000 pound load of beer, 430 miles, booked at $1,300, got them 302 a mile. And finally, Spearfish, South Dakota, going to Logan, Utah. It's a 43,000 pound load of salt gum blend, 597 miles, ran at $2,081, which got them $349 per loaded mile average. So excellent, excellent work. Thursday to Thursday, grossed $8,681 for the week, ran 2,664 loaded miles at an average of 326 per loaded mile average. And considering that they started out this week in a fairly bad spot out in California, and the current market there is not good, I say they did quite well at almost $8,700, an excellent rate for a regular dry van. And as I always say, you guys can do the same thing. Right now is probably one of the most important times to have a very strong dispatcher, whether you're a leased down owner operator or a carrier. Now, if you're a carrier, definitely need to focus on this. If you're a newer carrier, if you're a leased down owner operator, make sure you're not being overcharged for the services rendered by the company you're leased under. Make sure that they're honest with you, transparent, you're seeing every rate confirmation, and you're getting somewhere along these lines of rates. If you're not, definitely call us or text us at 801-448-6363. We'll provide you all the information that you require. You can also visit our website at aftdispatch.com/go. Fill in the boxes. We'll send you all the information. Get in touch with you, answer any and all your questions. Also, you can fill out our chat box on any one of our pages on our website, and we will also get in touch with you. But most importantly, don't get complacent. You need to make sure to watch your operating costs, make sure you're bringing in the top dollar, and as the market declines, you also will see declines in your average gross, but you want to make sure that you are declining slower than the market average. And until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.